Blake Lively is a magnificently beautiful woman who is a fashion icon and a great actress. And the question is, has she done anything over the many decades as an actress to enhance her beauty? So in 2005, you can see she has a distinctive upper eyelid, which are full. She has a nasal tip, which is descending. Her nose is relatively broad, and she has what is called the gummy smile, which shows the gum line as she smiles. And her face is a youthful oval appearance, and other than that, there's been no sign of any alteration, of course, at this young age. In 2006, it's only a year later, you can see that as she smiles, her nasal tip descends as she smiles, and notice the thinness of her upper lip, because that may change with time. In 2008, we see a change that has occurred. It looks like her nose looks more narrow, the nasal bridge, and the nasal ala look narrow, and the nasal tip looks changed. Her lip also looks different when she smiles. She no longer has that gummy smile. And it's possible at this point that she had a rhinoplasty, which is a cosmetic nasal surgery to narrow the overall contour of her nose. And also there are muscles that affect the smile. So while they did the rhinoplasty, it's possible they altered some of those muscles that changed the smile so she doesn't have such a gummy smile anymore. Now we see her in 2009, and we can see clearly in this frontal view that her nose looks much more narrow in terms of the nasal bridge. She has more highlights of the nasal tip. It's possible they narrowed the nasal tip either with a lower lateral cartilage alteration or possibly a nasal tip graft. And she also has fullness of her upper eyelids, which she's maintained throughout. But her lips look different now. Her lips look markedly different. She has a greater fullness of her upper lip and lower lip, and it appears that she has had some kind of filler to enhance the lip volume. A year later, we can see that her lip now looks much thinner, her upper lip, relative to her lower lip. And it's possible either the lip filler dissipated over the course of a year, or she might have had it removed because she didn't like the way it looked. She seems to always veer towards a natural evolution of her appearance. She doesn't want to alter her appearance in a radical way. She wants her fans to recognize her, and she doesn't want to change anything in any direction that creates kind of a disharmony or a feeling like we don't recognize who she is. However, 1 year later, you can see those lips have now been reinflated again with some kind of filler in order to enhance the volume of the upper lip and lower lip. Now, if we focus particularly on her eyelids, her upper eyelids, you can see that she's done nothing to alter the appearance of her upper eyelids. She looks the same as she did when she was a teenager in terms of the fullness of the upper lid. And this is kind of an interesting observation because there are other actresses like Cate Blanchett and Jennifer Lawrence who have also chosen to maintain their original anatomy and not change the eyelid area because possibly they think it's going to alter their appearance where they're unrecognizable to their fans or their character, and therefore they wisely have chosen not to do anything in that area. But I think Blake has taken a very good approach in terms of being very conservative about what she wants to change. And she's changed primarily her nose. And you can see in this picture that the nasal tip is more torqued upward, and it continues to evolve over many years from the time she had the original rhinoplasty as a teenager. Here we see her in 2013 on a frontal view, and we can see how the proportions of her face, they're very symmetric, and we associate symmetry of the face with beauty, and all parts of her face are divided equally, both horizontally and vertically, and I think that's why we all perceive her to be such a beautiful woman. In addition, just take note of how narrow her nasal ala are. It looks like these little structures here seem to be quite contoured, but it looks appropriate for her face. And she has good tooth show of her upper palate when she smiles, which is also associated with youth. In 2016, a particular note is the fact that she has not filled in these nasolabial lines or folds. And again, she wants to maintain a very natural look. She doesn't want to look like she's had any surgery or interventions performed. 2017, her facial contour looks markedly different than she has in the past. She has kind of a round contour, a fullness of her cheeks compared to a more tailored oval appearance in the past. And I don't know if she's pregnant at this juncture. I don't know if she did anything to test out any fillers in her cheek, but I have a feeling it's pregnancy that created this fullness and of her face. She looks obviously magnificent and beautiful, but there is certainly a difference from prior years. In 2018, what we see is that her face now looks more like she did several years ago. She has more of an oval contour to her face. She's lost some of that volume in her face, and she also is demonstrating small crow's feet in the lateral portion of her eyelids. She doesn't have any lines on her forehead. It probably implies that she had some Botox or some neuromodulator to inhibit the contraction of muscles on their forehead. And here we see a picture of Ryan Reynolds, her husband, with Blake, and it's very interesting to note that his eyelids are also full in the upper eyelids, and it's sometimes said that people who are attracted to each other are attracted because they look similar to each other, and I think this is a case in point. And here we see Blake Lively as a glamorous woman with some, again, enhancement of her upper lip. You can see the 50-50 volume split between the upper and lower lip. Other than that, she has really wisely chosen to go very slowly in terms of her beauty evolution. And I think she's done that because she is very conscious of the fact that her fans want to recognize her. I think when actresses or actors do things that are radical in terms of their appearance, they can sometimes lose the familiarity that their fans expect. And so I think Blake has wisely chosen to go very slowly over the many decades, and we can still recognize her and realize that she's evolving as a mature woman, but at the same time retaining her youthful characteristics. If you found this celebrity analysis to be entertaining, let me know if there's other celebrities you'd like me to analyze. Leave your comments below. I look forward to seeing you in my next video.